Your tomato plants are lying to you right now. They look fine. Green leaves, a few ripe fruits hanging low, maybe even a couple of new flowers popping up like everything's going great. But underneath all that, your plant is quietly running out of time. And if you don't step in during the next few days, you could lose half the tomatoes you were counting on. There's one simple move most garden owners never make in August, and it's the difference between a plant that keeps producing until frost and one that just stops. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to do to your tomato plants this week. And honestly, it takes less than 10 minutes. Hey, welcome back if you've been growing with us for a while. And if this is your first time here, welcome to Earthly Gardening, the channel where we show you how to grow more without spending more. No fancy tools, no expensive fertilizers, just smart moves that work with what you already have. Now, before we get into it, if gardening on a budget is something you care about, tap that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it costs you nothing. All right, let's talk tomatoes, because August is playing tricks on your plant right now, and most people don't even realize it. Why your tomato plant is secretly panicking. Here's something nobody tells you about late August. Your tomato plant can sense the days getting shorter, sometimes by nothing more than a few minutes of lost sunlight, and that tiny shift changes everything happening underground and inside every stem. The plant reads that signal as a warning. Winter is coming, even if it's still 90 degrees outside where you are. So instead of settling down and finishing what it started, your tomato plant panics and switches into what almost looks like survival mode. That means it stops thinking about the tomatoes it already has and starts thinking about making more. More height, more leaves, more flower clusters popping up at the top of every stem, all in a last-minute rush to reproduce before conditions get worse. It sounds productive, but it's actually the opposite. Every one of those new flowers is a dead end this late in the season. They won't have time to become fruit before the weather turns, yet your plant is still going to pour water, sugar, and nutrients into them anyway. And here's the part that really stings. That energy has to come from somewhere, and it's coming straight out of the tomatoes that are already growing on your plant right now, the ones that could actually ripen if given the chance. So while you're watching your plant put out fresh growth and thinking things look healthy, it might actually be quietly starving the fruit you've been waiting all summer for. The first job this week is putting a stop to that, and it starts with something that feels a little uncomfortable the first time you try it. Cut off the future to save the present. This is the step that makes most beginner gardeners hesitate, and honestly, it shouldn't. Walk up to your tomato plant and look at the very top of each main stem, the part that's still reaching upward and pushing out fresh growth and new flower clusters. That's the tip you're going to remove. Take a clean pair of scissors or pruning shears and snip off just that growing tip, nothing more. This process is called topping, and gardeners have quietly used it for generations, yet it rarely gets talked about because it looks so simple that people assume it can't possibly matter. But it does. Removing that tip sends a direct message through the entire plant. It tells the plant, in the only language a plant understands, that the growing phase is over and the finishing phase has begun. Once that signal goes out, something almost immediate happens. All the energy the plant was about to spend on new stems, new leaves and flowers that were never going to make it, gets redirected. It flows straight into the tomatoes that are already hanging there, the ones with a real shot at ripening before the season ends. You're not damaging your plant by doing this. You're actually doing it a favor, freeing it from trying to do 10 jobs at once so it can finally focus on just one. Now, if you're looking at your plant and noticing tomatoes that are still small, still hard, still deep green, with what looks like weeks of growing left, be honest with yourself about your timeline. If you're already deep into August, some of those simply are not going to finish ripening on the vine no matter how much sun or care you give them. That's just the reality of the calendar. But don't rush to pull them off just yet, because later in this video there's a trick for dealing with exactly this problem that barely anyone actually knows about. The leaves you should actually be worried about. Pruning tomato leaves gets mentioned constantly online, but most of the advice out there is either too vague or flat out wrong. So let's actually clear this up properly. The goal here is not to strip your plant down to bare stems. That's one of the most common mistakes people make. And it can actually backfire badly, because leaves are what power the entire ripening process through photosynthesis. Take away too many, and you're taking away the plant's ability to finish what it started. What you actually want to target is much more specific. Start with any leaves that are resting directly on the soil. Those are a problem because damp soil against a leaf creates the perfect breeding ground for fungus, and late August humidity only makes that risk worse. Next, look for anything yellowing, wilting, or clearly past its prime. Those leaves aren't doing any useful work anymore. They're just sitting there using up resources while contributing nothing back. And finally, check for leaves that are creating dense, tangled growth with little to no airflow moving through the plant. Stagnant, humid air trapped inside a thick tomato plant is basically an open invitation for blight, and once blight sets in this late in the season, there's often no coming back from it. Here's the piece almost nobody mentions. Take a look at any tomatoes that are already starting to blush red or orange, and check whether a leaf is sitting directly over them, blocking their access to sunlight. If so, remove just that one leaf, not the surrounding ones, just the one actually casting shade on the fruit. Tomatoes need a bit of light exposure during these final weeks to trigger that last surge of color development. Leave that shade in place, and you might find yourself waiting an extra week or two for a tomato that was otherwise ready to go. Stop watering like it's still July. This next one catches almost everyone off guard the first time they hear it, because it goes against everything we're taught about gardening. Right now, less water is actually the better choice for your tomato plants. Back in the height of summer, when your plant was still building size and structure, consistent moisture was essential. But now that fruit has already set, and you're heading into the final stretch of the season, that same consistent watering routine can actually work against you. Too much water at this stage dilutes the natural sugars developing inside each tomato, leading to fruit that tastes watery and flat instead of rich and sweet. Worse, sudden heavy watering after a dry spell can cause the skin to crack or split right before harvest, which might be one of the most frustrating things that can happen after months of patient care. What you want instead is a slight, deliberate dry spell, nothing extreme, just an intentional pullback. Cut your watering schedule down by roughly a third over the next week or two. Let the top couple of inches of soil dry out completely between each watering instead of keeping things constantly damp the way you might have all summer. This mild stress response actually pushes the plant to concentrate more flavor and sugar into the fruit rather than spending everything on watery bulk. It sounds completely backwards, but a tomato plant that's kept just slightly thirsty during this final stage will consistently produce sweeter, more intensely flavored tomatoes than one that's kept constantly soaked. The overlooked trick for tomatoes that won't make it. Let's go back to those small green tomatoes we talked about earlier, the ones that likely won't have enough time to ripen naturally on the vine before your season wraps up. Instead of leaving them to eventually rot on the plant, or worse, tossing them straight into the compost pile out of frustration, there's a method that's been used by home gardeners for decades and still surprises people every time they try it. Pick those green tomatoes and wrap each one individually in a sheet of newspaper or place them inside a paper bag. Store them somewhere dark and cool. A kitchen drawer, a cupboard, even a cardboard box tucked in a closet works fine. Check on them every couple of days. Here's why this works. Tomatoes don't actually need direct sunlight to ripen, contrary to what most people assume. What they need is a naturally occurring gas called ethylene, and once a tomato reaches a certain stage of maturity, even while still fully green, it starts producing that gas on its own. Wrapping the fruit traps that ethylene close around it instead of letting it escape into open air, which speeds up the ripening process significantly. Within a week or two, you'll likely be unwrapping fully ripened, red tomatoes from what looked like a completely lost cause just days earlier. If you want to speed things along even faster, toss an apple or a banana into the same bag, since both of those release extra ethylene and can cut ripening time down noticeably. Feed them the right way, not the usual way. If you've been reaching for the same general-purpose fertilizer all summer long, this is the point in the season where that needs to change. Any nitrogen-heavy feed, the type designed to push out lush green leafy growth, needs to be set aside completely for now. Think about it. More leafy growth is genuinely the last thing your plant needs at this stage, since that's exactly the kind of energy drain we've spent this whole video trying to redirect elsewhere. What your plant actually needs right now is potassium, since that particular nutrient is directly responsible for fruit development, ripening speed, and that deep, rich tomato flavor and color everyone's chasing after a long summer of waiting. The good news is, you don't need anything expensive or complicated to provide it. A light sprinkle of wood ash around the base of the plant works well, or if you already have a potassium-focused feed on hand, that works too. Just a small, single application at this stage is usually enough to give your plants that final push without overwhelming them this late into the growing season. Quick pause here because I genuinely want to know something. Which one of these tricks did you not know about before watching this? Drop it in the comments below. I read through every single one, and it honestly helps me figure out what to cover in future videos. And if any of this is proving helpful for your garden right now, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. It's completely free, and it's the main thing that keeps videos like this one coming your way. Watch the weather, not just the calendar. August can be deceptive depending on where you're gardening. Some regions are still baking under intense heat well into September, while others are already feeling that first cool, crisp night that signals fall has quietly arrived. Because of that, it's worth paying closer attention to your local nighttime temperatures over the next couple of weeks, rather than relying purely on the date on your calendar. Once nighttime temperatures start dropping consistently below the mid-50s, tomato ripening slows down dramatically, sometimes almost grinding to a halt entirely, regardless of anything else you do to help the process along. If you know a cold snap or an early frost is heading your way, treat that as your cue to harvest anything already showing even the faintest blush of color and bring it indoors to finish ripening safely, rather than gambling on leaving it out there exposed to the cold. One last thing before you go. Before you head back outside, take a genuine step back and look at your tomato plant as a whole today, not just at the fruit hanging off it. Look at the stems, the color of the leaves, how much airflow is moving through the plant, whether the tomatoes catching sun are the ones that need it, and whether the soil underneath feels balanced instead of soggy or bone dry. That full picture tells you far more about how strong a finish your plant is heading toward than any single tomato ever could. A handful of small, intentional changes made this week, not sometime next month, not whenever you eventually get around to it, but genuinely this week, is often the exact difference between a garden that quietly fizzles out early and one that keeps rewarding you with fresh tomatoes well into the fall. If any part of this video helped you out today, do me a favor and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and share it with anyone you know who's still out there guessing when it comes to their tomato plants this late in the season. See you in the next one.